Hello, friends, and welcome to my 2025 reading journal flip through. So, I hope you're all doing well. I hope everything has been well for you in 2025 and that 2026 will be a great year for you. I know I am a little bit late on this video because we are currently on the 8th of January and I have just finished my 2025 reading journal because I was still doing some stats, pages, and stuff. That is why it is so late. So, this journal is from Notebook Therapy, and if you've seen my other journaling videos, pretty much all of my reading journals are from Notebook Therapy. This was the Lunar Delivery collection. I think this was what it is called because it is written Lunar Delivery on the washi tape box. So I think this was the name of the collection, and I think they still have some stuff from that collection on their website. So yes, we can go and get into my 2025 reading journal. All right, so let's open it. And the first page is obviously the name page, which I don't decorate ever. I've never really decorated that page, like it's just, I don't know, I've never felt the need to. And so first is the cover page for 2025, and 2025 was the first year that I really started using washi tapes, especially because like I got the box that was in the Lunar Delivery collection, and they are so magnificent. Like the Notebook Therapy washi tapes, incredible. So I really started using them in 2025, and you'll see them like basically everywhere. So yes, I did like a little bit of lettering, and that is it. It's a very basic cover page. But the thing that I was most excited about in this journal and that I was trying out was Dutch doors. I don't think they're called Dutch doors because like Dutch doors are the ones that are from the inside, whereas these ones, they flip outsidewards. And oh, I just remembered I forgot to pick my book for December, so don't mind that. But this is basically my novels bookshelf, so these are all the novels that I read in 2025, and these are my favorite books of each month in 2025. And you can see that some of these are rereads, like Assistant to the... No, this was the first time I've read that one. This is not a reread. This one was a reread, however, and this one was also a reread. And many great books in 2025 were read, and I'm very happy about that. So yeah, my shelves, they're not really that filled. I feel like I gave them way too much space, but it's fine, I don't mind. And like, yeah, I also was leaving spaces out for series and stuff that I thought that I was gonna read in 2025 and I didn't end up reading. So yeah, but I honestly don't mind. They're just like this, and I'm happy about them, and I'm happy that I've read that much, honestly. And I also haven't filled my goals in, so let's do that. Read a 1,000-page book. I did not do. I thought I was going to read The Count of Monte Cristo, or actually that's the only one I had in 2025. I thought I was gonna read that one and I didn't, so that's a no. Get the TBR down to 30. Also no. Read 10 classics. I actually did, so we can fill that one in. Read 20 books on my Kindle. I think I did. I think I did that, yes. So I definitely did even more than 20. Finish at least 10 series. I don't think I did that. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did not finish 10 series, so that's a no. Read more One Piece, also no. I ended up starting Fairy Tail, and I am going to finish Fairy Tail before I get into more One Piece. And annotate more. I think I only annotated one book in 2025, so let's take that as a no. And my reading TBR for 2025 consisted of Wuthering Heights, which I did not read, The Count of Monte Cristo, which I did not read, Caraval I read, Zodiac Academy I did not read, Always a Villain, which actually isn't the real name of the book, it's Once a Villain, I think. It's the third book in the Only a Monster trilogy. And I still haven't, like, I really want to read it, but I haven't read it yet. I don't have the book in my possession yet. So no, The Hunger Games I have read and very much loved, and The Bridge Kingdom I have not read. So let us move on to the next page, which is my reading goals for novels. I have read 50 novels in 2025, which is a great number. I love that for me. And then this is basically like my physical TBR, and you can see that it greatly improved, not in the right way. It evolved in a bigger TBR than I imagined. So yes, I did not want it to be that big, and to be honest, it is not really that big. It is that big because I have a lot of mangas that I buy and don't read immediately because I wait for me to have a little bit of them before I read them. Like, I like reading them back to back, so that's why it's such a big physical TBR. But I don't have that many books to read. I mean, I do, but yeah, you know what I mean. And the next one is my series tracker, so you see that I've already finished 6 series, and I still have a lot more to go. This was my Shadowhunter checklist, which I very much did not care about, apparently, because I have not read any of the books that I was supposed to read, because that one, Lady Midnight, I actually read in 2024, in December or November, I think, 2024. So absolutely no books read in that checklist, and this one was the Poirot checklist, so the Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot books, which I absolutely did not care about either. I had already read these 3 books and I have not read any other book. And next we already have January. So January was Divine Rival themed, as you can see. And this kind of page I only did for January. I actually abandoned them, like I just left them. I stopped doing them after January because I was doing them in my 2024 reading journal, but it didn't feel relevant anymore. Like the new releases stuff and like my monthly TBR were not relevant at all, so I just stopped doing them. And you can see that in January I read 6 books and watched 8 shows and movies. Then we have February, which is Assistant to the Villain themed. And I read 8 books too, so I'm usually around that amount of books, like around 10 books per month. March was Percy theme, so Percy Jackson. March wasn't a great reading month, apparently, but I did watch a lot of stuff. April is obviously The Hunger Games themed. And I did read a lot, but 10 of these books were mangas. I read a whole series in April and then read some other stuff. I watched a lot of stuff too. May was A Winter's Promise themed. I've read the entire series at the start of the year in 2025, and I just love that series so much. I keep thinking about it and I keep wanting to reread it already, even though like I've read them in February. and March and all that stuff. So yeah, I will probably reread it like at the end of 2026 when it's winter again, because they're such wintry books. And I did read a lot in May too. Next is June, and June was Dostoevsky themed. My favorite book in May was White Nights by Dostoevsky, and so I just picked a few like old time paintings, kind of, and we also have Dostoevsky with a tiny bow because he's a cutie, isn't he? Oh, and that's when I started Fairy Tale. Okay. Then July is a Babel themed, because I read Babel in June and oh my god. Yes, and I think that's one of my favorite themes. Like one of two. I have two favorite themes in 2025. This one is the first, and then there's a later one that you will see. I really love that page, and I love that page too. And this was Summerween. For the Summerween readathon, I did not read that much. First, I did read a lot for a week. So don't mind me. Don't listen to what I say, basically. August was a Caraval theme. And I did not read anything in August. These two are audiobooks. I've listened to them and did not read anything in August. I don't know why, but I didn't. And this is my second favorite theme for 2025. This is Memories of the Forest, or Woodlands Memories themed. I just loved that series so much, and I'm going to read them in 2026, but in order, like of the seasons and stuff. So I can't wait. But yes, this was one of my favorite themes also, because I just had the loveliest stickers for these. Like, look at this. Look at the fox. Oh my god. And that's when I started rereading a lot, even though most of these are comics. This was for the Pumpkin Autumn Challenge. So there's a bingo in all of the categories and what I've read. Now October was another Hunger Games themed, but this time it's the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Is that how it's called? Or is it the other way? I don't remember, and I will not check. So I hope that's what it's called. And so yes, and there's just a tiny one of Katniss, because I needed Katniss over there. And I've read a lot in October. Is this October? It is October. And same, we're still on the Pumpkin Autumn Challenge. So this was my October one. And this is November. November is a Gallant themed, which was a reread, but I had never done a Gallant theme page, so that's what I did for November, and I love that book. I love it so much. That's why I reread it, obviously, but I really love it. There we go. And that's the last page of my Pumpkin Autumn Challenge, because it was the last month of the challenge. And here we are in December already, which is Frankenstein themed. Frankenstein, which was also a reread, and plus just Christmas stuff, because December is Christmas. So there we have the Frankenstein theme, and I've read a lot in December. Don't mind these two. I was supposed to read 2 more volumes of Fairy Tale, but I just did not. So that's why. And then this is Delightful Readathon bingo. And we are basically done for the monthly themes, so I'm going to skip ahead, and I know I have a few white pages in there. These are monthly bingos and like book club stuff that I ended up not following throughout the year, and this is Aurelium stuff. This is Pumpkin Autumn Challenge again. So this is almost all of the books I read for 3 months, and now we are in the yearly stats. I love my yearly stats. I love doing them always. So these are the number of books that I've read per month, and you can see that my best month was obviously April. I've read 15 books in April, and same as for pages wise, because this is the number of pages that I've read per month. And so in total, I have read 160 books, 106 books, and I've read 27,800 pages in 2025, which is absolutely so wonderful. I have read a lot more in English this year than French. In 2024, I had mostly read in French and not English. This year, it changed around. My reading method is actually quite mixed. I have like half physical, half Kindle, a little bit of audiobook and mixed media in there. I have a lot of rereads this year. I did not reread any books in 2024, sorry, but in 2025, I reread a lot of books. So yes, I'm quite happy about that because I love rereading my favorite books. So this is a nice stats, and most of my books were read in series, but I have read more standalones this year than previous years. And then my genre of my favorite genre is obviously fantasy, so I've read mostly fantasy, but I have quite a lot of others too, and these are like book club reads and readathon reads, that just some stuff. And this is the number of books by pages bracket. So like basically you can see here I have read 34 books that are between 150 and 200 pages. I have not read any 1000 pages book. That's why there's a 0 over there. But yeah, these are the length of the books that I read. And my book format, my preferred book format, is novels and mangas that I mostly read, and I also mostly owned all of the books that I read, but also I've read a lot on my Kindle Unlimited subscription. And this is just a random page with all the images that I still have, because I did not use them in my monthly stuff, so I just did a little collage because I had a few pages left. So that is it. This is just my ideas for my 2026 journal, so it's a bunch of scribbles and stuff, but we are done. My 2025 reading journal is officially finished, and I will not ever going to be writing in it again, which is sad when you think about it, but my 2026 journal is even better to my taste. So I am very happy, and I love my journals always. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit of inspiration, maybe. So I will see you in my next video, and happy reading, happy journaling, or whatever that you like to do. And bye bye!